What's going on, guys? Guys and girls, probably. So, apologize. Actually, my 8 monitor computer system has had some errors. Just got 7 monitors back working and was able to try to get live here. So, and then Nick and I was working on a beginner's guide to cryptos to try to get more people onboarded. So we've been working on that. We kind of launched that yesterday. It's on the website under store at learncrypto.io. So just working on that. Nick's actually some things going on at work, so he was stuck there last night. I think we're going live tonight real quick. He has soccer, but we're going to try to go live. I'm just guessing 6:15. So I guess talk about these markets. I mean, as everybody knows, we fell down to, what was it, like 58.80, I guess the low was, 58.60, 58.65. Obviously, that was nerve-wracking. I think a lot of people sold that low. Right when we came off that low, I tried to tweet, was that it? Because, boy, it looked like a pretty good flush. Yeah, I mean, that was a big flush in the alt, so not sure if that was a low. I mean, the Bitcoin chart's in front of you, 4 hour. I mean, we've came out through these highs, which is impressive. Everybody knows shorts are high, so we need to probably get some of those guys washed out, which I'm sure this rally is helping. So we'll see how this rally can stay in. So, I did want, one thing I wanted to bring up too, I mentioned July 1st on the, it was back here on the UUP, which is the long dollar ETF. At that point, everyone was really friendly to the dollar, which normally when the dollar turns down, it's good for cryptos. As you can see, we did have this triangle, so if you throw in a little bit of Elliott wave on top of the Wyckoff, because we did get oversold here. And if this was a wave 4 triangle, then it's easily to count 5 waves up now. And this could finally be the top in the dollar that we've been looking for. So you can see over here, we did get an overbought technometer here. And if this is a completed dollar rally from this chart, this could easily be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, which means the dollar, I know some dollar bulls are looking maybe just for a pullback, let's say to 24.60 from 25.60, that'd be a 4%. I think there's also ways you could read that this is a 5th wave up of bigger proportions. And again, that still says that the dollar's under pressure. I think that brings people back to the cryptos. So this could be the start of a real rally. And I think when you step back from all this, I think you've got to be impressed with the bleed out of the alts that Bitcoin continued to defend that 57, 5800 level. So now if that level breaks down, if we fall back down to 6,000 now, I think you got to be concerned that we're going to fall apart still and we're going to shake out the Bitcoin. But for right now, for that 5850 level to hold in the case of Ethereum and Litecoin and all the bad news, I think was impressive. And now you're getting the reflex from that right now. So I don't know what else, I know a few coins. Let's bring up a few here. This is on the 4 hour. So I've actually had a lot of these marked as A, B, C, D, E, or you could do the A, B, C, 1, 2. So but I think a lot of the strong coins completed maybe a triangle there. So they could be ready to lead us to the upside. And that would look more like ZRX. That triangle's marked there. It did come down hard to almost take out the C wave. But if those labelings are correct, I mean, We put in a low in a lot of the strong alts like ZRX, Zen. You can see the Zen there. So again, this is an A, B, C, and a 1-2, which is what I was calling it before the deep weakness. And I think you got to call it A, B, C, D, E. But that means Zen then has put in a pretty good low. And then let's go XLM USD. Same type of thing there. I mean, so these charts, hate to be bullish like I've stayed, but some of those charts would look explosive to the upside. So, and yeah, the Ethereum sell-off obviously was ICOs getting scared, seeing their money go away. So they had to liquidate as well. So, you know, once again, we got to get this rally, I think, going and see if we can hold it. There's EOS, came down below $5, which we had warned if this rally didn't hold up here. But now you've completed possibly a flat correction. So the worst might be over in EOS. ADA is one that we've liked, that not as strong recently. More of a downward sloping ending diagonal. But that one could still be interesting here. Classic, as you know, I would have never thought that we would have, really, I wouldn't have thought we'd have broken that 12, you know, these lows at 12 or so, but we have. And let's see if we can put it back together then as well there. So Dash up 17% today after getting clobbered. Ripple back to 30 cents. After trading on the downside, 22.23. But I think Bitcoin stays dominant here. Let's go back to the 15-minute. I mean, again, so far, I don't think many people would have thought 6,600 would have came back on Bitcoin. And as you know, I tweeted on Barry Silbert did that. You know, we're going to go to new lows. 75% of people, and I think that was done right at the lows, 75% of people said we were going to collapse. And I'm guessing he had pretty good coverage on that. So I think at the lows, everybody knew from the alts getting bled out and from the way Bitcoin acted that it was going to collapse. And so far, we've kind of brought it back. So, you know, if you try to get cute with Elliott Wave, I mean, this could be the fifth, so we could stop somewhere here, give everybody the idea that this is a fake rally again, maybe consolidate here in a couple 100-point range, and then try to go higher from there. Let me see. I said I've had major issues today. Let me see if I can bring up one more thing here. Yeah, definitely market manipulators are good at messing with people's heads and sentiment. I mean, who was it? Kind of forget who it was. Somebody came out at the lows and kind of flip-flop. And then what? The gentleman in charge of BitMEX came out and said that Ethereum was a shitcoin, and I'm sure that brought in some more selling. So I don't know what his purpose of that was, but that definitely was interesting. The only thing with that is, you know, we had the capitulation everywhere but Bitcoin. So I hear you that we need that true capitulation, but if Bitcoin's the general here, I mean, maybe we're not going to get it. You know, the sell-off into early February down to below 6,000, and then all the tests since then that might have been all that we needed. So obviously the key is how this rally now. If you look at this, this was a leading diagonal off the low for a 1-2, and then we probably 3-4 here. So we're probably done a 5 or finishing a 5. Again, I don't want to get cute with the Elliott wave like that, because I've said before I've only used Elliott wave for maybe 5 or 10% of what more of a confirmation on Wyckoff. But if that's the case, this support, 6,200, 61.70 back here, that should be strong support for Elliott wave. So if we start printing 61.50, then I would say, yeah, probably a capitulation's coming. But right now, I'm still going to go, as I tweeted at the lows, I thought that was capitulation. It just felt kind of like it was on January 5th and everybody was chasing the alts. It felt like everybody was panicking. So I don't know. And then to come back and do a 6,600 print, I think is pretty good. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to bring up my software here to talk about a couple things. Because, I'm still having issues. You can see here, because I tweeted on Litecoin. Here's a 1 week Litecoin 5-minute. And really on this, you're looking for divergences. I mentioned that we had this one here where OP, which is volume, had a good rally, Litecoin didn't. That was telling you probably something was wrong there. The problem with that, I really need a technometer reading with that, preferred, and then maybe go back and see if there's any type of Elliott wave count. This did look like a triangle that was ending. And for it to break down here, that was definitely a short-term sell, which I tried to tweet out showing that. The problem is here is on the way down, I had a data issue that I'm having them check into. So I couldn't get a true read. You can see here the price went to a new low, volume didn't. But again, I'm trying to check for reliability, so I noticed the data missing here for about 15 minutes, which didn't bring the volume in as low as it would have on this sell-off, because there's not enough negative volume here. So my developer's looking into that. That's, I'm afraid that's coming from the APIs, because it's coming from 89 exchanges. Everybody says that's no big deal. They can get it done in 60 days, but that's just not true. If an API is not kicking out the data, then it's going to throw my charts off. So, but I know it was a slight divergence anyway. We wouldn't have brought the OP down to new lows. So if I had a tech reading, it would have gave us a buy down here on Litecoin. Because you can even see here, volume came in to new lows, Litecoin didn't. So down here at 51.50, it would have gave you maybe a possible inkling. But same thing. I'm just trying to troubleshoot it more so. And we're still having some issues, but they're fixing. So I'm watching it, monitoring it. There is Ethereum on a 5-minute basis. Back here, volume was increasing and price wasn't, which maybe told you it was a little suspect here. And then you can see volume came in, heavy selling here, and price held the previous low and actually sprung it just a hair right here. So if everything was working correctly, you can see here, we extend here on sell volume from all exchanges, price held here compared to here, and then it also, this here was holding. So it looked like this would have been somebody was supporting Ethereum here at 258. And also you can see here that as we get this rally up here, that volume isn't totally supporting it. Again, we can't, I can't trade off these things until I just continue to double check and make sure. I can't have people trading off of bad data. Let's check Classic here. Same type of thing here. Volume is in a steep downtrend. It continues lower, but price holds. So if you're trading off a 5-minute chart, obviously these are used for more for, you come in on the daily chart, the 4-hour chart, and you've got a buy signal, technometers oversold. Then you're looking for some type of divergence like that to tell you, okay, it's time to act. If you're trading over the course of a few days, then yes, this sell-off here and at holding, you could have bought somewhere here as it turned higher, let's say 1080, 1090 with the stop back here 1023. And then now you probably would just want to, take off as a profit, or maybe just put a break-even stop and let it run. So those are things I'm trying to do. And once again, there's the 5-minute. So I think you don't want to see 6150 to get overlapped. That would be negative. Any action here sideways between 63, 6600, I think is positive. And then let's see if the alts can continue to dig in here and try to add to their gains off these washout lows. That's all I probably really got at the moment. So if you need anything, email me, text me, tweet me, etc. Like I said, I think Nick and I are planning on going live, probably not 6:30, probably a little bit earlier. I think we've done like 6:15, so it'll be short and sweet probably. Just want to make sure everybody knows we're still here. And we're going to add a few more lessons to the beginner's course. And then we're going to sell that as an affiliate as well. All it is just telling people how to go to Coinbase, walk them through the steps, how to secure wallets, etc. So Nick's put it together. I added it to the system, and it is up. You can see the lessons if you go to learncrypto.io. Let me show you that. But again, we're going to add a little bit more before we really push it hard. It's just used for, if you hover over store, you've got cryptocurrencies and Wyckoff, which is our course, and the beginner's guide to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. If anybody thinks there's anything we should add to this, let us know. A little bit of an intro, and then down here, click here for all lesson excerpts. Again, how to buy your first Bitcoin, how to store it, how to send and receive, how to set up a Binance, how to avoid Coinbase fees, etc. So again, you guys got any lessons you want us to add there? We just want that to try to onboard people quicker. Right now we've got it priced at $99. I think it's set up to do a $10 affiliate. We're not sure what, if we're going to stay at those numbers, increase them, whatever. Just something we're trying to add here. Anybody wants to be an affiliate, go to the affiliate link. So that's all I got now. What's up, Seb? Long time no see. So let's see if Bitcoin can keep it together here. Let's, what we got? Here's Bitcoin, Binance. You can see the big volume here on the sell-off. Actually some pretty good volume here on the sell-off. Then everybody chasing it on this fifth wave probably here. So again, I would look for some back and filling here, and then I still think higher. If 6150 is given up, then, because that's probably a wave one, wave two. The 6150 is given up, and once again, discouraging for the bulls. Thanks to the 60 people watching. We're going to try to get back in our groove here and keep it moving, and then hopefully just keep bringing the software to you. So let's bring up a daily on the Bitcoin so we can see the volume. Give me 1 second here. There's the Bitcoin daily with consolidated volume. So you can see here, this selling is not massive down here. I mean, it still could be a test of the previous spring. And you can see today, what we've got 7 more hours for this green bar to add volume. So we definitely have erased the selling bar in Bitcoin. So you've got to be impressed with that. You've got a technometer reading that's oversold, but again, let's not, I don't like the reliability of this because this reading here is not possible. So I've had them trying to figure out why this reading came in. So again, I don't want to trust these oversold readings, but the volume and price is good. So we've got a hell of a good green bar coming off the lows here. So I've got to stay friendly. So that's all I've got now, guys. So gold's in a free fall, and I think that's because the dollar, going back to the dollar chart, I discussed that before. So I had mentioned that here, that this was where it was like 94% bull. It's still that number here. And now I think we've completed a 5th wave on the Elliott wave. So I think the dollar is coming under pressure here. I think gold will act better. I think gold's a buy here. And I think cryptos will do better. I think cryptos are a buy. So that's what we got. So we will check you guys tonight. Good luck trading.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard D. Wyckoff. Anyone who is interested in the stock, option, or commodity markets is most likely to find my life and teachings to be of great interest and value. I was born November 2nd, 1873. At the age of 15, I had my first job as a stock runner on Wall Street, and by age 25, I had opened my first brokerage firm. I was one of the pioneers in the study of the tape and included volume studies in all my market operations. This volume and its intraday studies is what set me apart from the rest of the market gurus. There was a point that my buy and sell following was so big that it became a powerful part of the daily market. It was at this time that I became known as one of the titans of technical analysis. But all along, my lifelong endeavor was to pass on my accumulated wisdom to others. With that in mind, in 1907 I created the Magazine of Wall Street. At its height, the Magazine of Wall Street had over 200,000 subscribers. That's over 200,000 investors who wanted my thoughts on the current market conditions and trends. Finally, in 1931, I decided to take all my knowledge that I had learned about the stock market and created the Richard D. Wyckoff course of stock market science and technique. I was able to create something that established a new standard of practice in the public stock market operations. I did not claim any monopoly of stock market knowledge, but up to that time, no one else seemed willing to be so frank in offering to the public the most intimate knowledge of the inner workings of the stock market. The good news is that even though I created the Wyckoff stock market course back in 1931, the course has been maintained and updated throughout the years and is available to you today. Over 90 years later, my course is still available for investors and traders that want to learn the secrets to the stock market and can be found right now at wyckoffsmi.com.